Welcome to Smoke Signals, where we no longer ignore the signs and we evacuate when needed. In today's smoke signal, from what's being reported, there was an incident at Grand Central Station where a man had a weapon and it escalated quickly. And before we go any further, let me just say allegedly, reportedly, based on what's been shared so far. I'm not here to debate details. I'm here to talk about what this shows. Here at Smoke Signals, this isn't about them. This is about what this reveals. Because when situations like this happen, people tend to focus on the event. But we look at patterns. So here's the thing. We keep trying to understand people who are showing us that they're not safe to be around, right? You've been patient, you've been understanding, you've been trying to see the good in them, trying to give them grace, trying to explain their behavior in a way that makes sense. But if you're being completely honest, you don't feel safe. Not emotionally, not mentally, not even in your own body sometimes. And at some point, friends, understanding them starts costing you. And this is what it looks like in real time.
A wild scene at Grand Central when police shot and killed a man who went on a stabbing rampage at Grand Central. The man randomly attacked 3 people at the busy train station around 9:30 this morning. And tonight we are learning more about the victim's injuries and what that man said moments before officers shot him. Armed with this machete, a deranged man went underground into Grand Central Terminal looking to raise hell on earth.
Behaving erratically, repeatedly stating that he was Lucifer.
That's the man who claimed he was Lucifer on the ground, his rampage over after being shot by police.
Do you see how quickly that escalated? And I need you to hear me clearly. Not everybody who's hurting is safe to be around. I'm going to say it again. Not everybody who's hurting is safe to be around. Some people don't know how to regulate themselves. Some people don't know how to stop once they're triggered. Too many people don't know how to take accountability without turning it back on you. And you've been calling that confusion when it's actually inconsistency. You see, some people don't have the ability to regulate once they're triggered.
My daughter called me. She was emotional. She's crying. Mommy, this is, if he did do that, I want to see proof of it. I want to see footage of it. I want to also say that maybe something did trigger, but still in right. He all right. They could have just tased him.
The individual was armed with a large knife, described as a machete, and was behaving erratically, repeatedly stating that he was Lucifer. The individual refused to comply with at least 20 orders to drop the knife. Officers also attempted to de-escalate and offer assistance, saying, "We are going to get you help." He then advanced toward the officers with the knife extended. One officer discharged his firearm, striking the perpetrator twice. Officers immediately began performing life-saving measures. The individual was transported to Bellevue Hospital and he was pronounced deceased. The perpetrator is identified as 44-year-old Anthony Griffin, who has 3 unsealed prior arrests. He does not have documented EDP history with this department.
And listen, I know they said he had prior offenses in that press conference. I wasn't able to locate his record. I did try. But I respect his mom also for not jumping to conclusions and not saying he would never. But even still, we don't know the full story of what happened in this particular case. I just thought I'd address the underlying story, the pattern that needs to be interrupted, right? Because that's what we do here. And just because you understand somebody doesn't mean You're supposed to stay connected to them. I'm going to say that again too. Understanding someone does not require access to you. You can have compassion and still have distance. You can care and still choose yourself. And if this is hitting you right now, go ahead and like the video, because this is where things start to change. You see, this is where people get confused, right? Because they think that empathy, and trust me, I am super empathetic. To my core, it's who I am. But they think empathy means staying connected. But not everybody who's hurting is safe. You see, you're allowed to break up with people who technically never did anything wrong, but continuously made you feel unseen, unsafe, emotionally unstable, or like you had to keep shrinking to stay connected. You don't have to wait for a dramatic ending to choose peace. You don't have to prove it was bad enough to walk away. And you don't have to keep explaining yourself to people who benefit from misunderstanding you. That one is huge for me. You see, understanding somebody does not always mean they're safe. Understanding somebody doesn't have to mean access to you again. And if you've ever had to learn this the hard way, stay with me. Go ahead and subscribe now. But you're allowed to step away from people who cannot regulate themselves, even if you understand why they are the way they are. So if this is the kind of clarity you've been needing, again, this is what we do here. Remember, you're not abandoning them. You're choosing safety. You are finally choosing you. And if this spoke to you, you already know why. Until next time, friends, pay attention to the smoke signals. Evacuate when needed.